Hello, everyone. It's Gavin or Tweek.
You're so proper. Hello.
Yeah, was I professional?
That was kind of weird. Oh, what's up? Like, hello? Oh, it's weird. All right, what's good? It's Pink. Marcus in the building. What up? What up?
What's up? It's Charles or Chuck. How you guys doing?
And you already know, it's Matt or Haz. What an amazing weekend we had here. 3 really good Smash Ultimate. Yes, that's right. 3. You might have missed one. There's only 50K on the line. So 3 big tournaments this weekend. 3 big winners. But what's going on, everyone? Let's do a little round the horn. How's everyone doing today? What's up, Marcus?
Bro, y'all just be bullying me. Like, what?
Ask me how you are.
I'm good, man. I'm a little tired. I got back from Apex on Sunday. I drove back. And I kind of just been sitting around for the past 2 days. Like I'm over everything. Except I'm married, so like sitting around is not just me laying in the bed. It's like me cleaning and cooking and going to the grocery store because Thanksgiving's coming up, which I'm kind of excited for. Not really excited for. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that because she doesn't cook, so I do all the cooking. So I don't know how to feel about that. But I don't know. I'm good. I'm chilling. How are you, Gavin? Ooh.
I actually read that. So
I didn't. I thought he was going back to me is what I thought for sure.
I read that. Don't worry. I'm doing all right. I've been playing Pokemon. It's like ruining my life, I would say. No exaggeration. But I did keep up with Apex specifically. DreamHack a little bit. Shouts to Jakal for getting second. I rewatched all of his sets specifically. Played fantastic. We'll probably get into that a little bit more. But other than that, I'm good. I mean, I've been waiting for Scarlet Violet for so long. I'm glad it's here. How you doing, Charles?
I'm doing good. Just a little.
Did you think I would bump into you or Haz? Did you predict that?
I had put no mental energy into predicting anything. I'm just rolling with the punches right now. But yeah, I just have like a raspy throat from DreamHack. It was a really fun weekend at DreamHack. Me, EE, TK, Ajax, Last were there. I got to do Smash Ultimate and then top 8 for Rushdown Revolt. So that was really fun. And I love watching ApolloKage Snake, so it was really sick to see him take the whole entire tournament. Yeah, I mean, DreamHack is really cool because you get to see a bunch of different games. Like I saw StarCraft there, and if you know a decent amount about StarCraft, it's not very big in NA. Like Blizzard had to sell like the esports thing to some other something. I don't know the exact details, but essentially, there's not that much StarCraft in NA. So to see a StarCraft stage with some of the best players in the world just at DreamHack, I was like, oh, whoa, this is dope. So I got to like watch that, and there's a bunch of different games at DreamHack as well. So definitely and Atlanta's just dope. I got to eat Zaxby's, so just an overall sick event to be at. What about you, Haz? Did you know I was gonna do it?
There's no mix left. It had to be me. I had a really good weekend. Yeah, I watched a lot of Smash, played a lot of Pokemon. It was my wife's birthday, so we went to New York City for the weekend, which was really good. So it was a busy but really, really fun weekend. So it was great, man.
You could have pulled up to Apex.
Dude, it's funny because, well, I was a little busy. My wife did not want to spend her birthday at Apex.
Hey, do you want to go to this Smash tournament?
Hey, we're right here.
Koopa's going to be there, you know.
Koopa was there.
Yeah, I haven't seen Koopa in a minute on commentary. Yeah, hell yeah, man. I guess if I'm doing an early shout out, it would be to Riddles, dude, taking down, I think it was 15K out of 50K Canadian dollars prize pool. And ouch for getting second as well, only losing to Riddles both in winners and in grands. So really good stuff. I mean, I love the Canadian scene, so like seeing
those are 2 really big names for Canada, so only makes sense.
Yeah, 2. I guess it's like the big 3. I think Canada has a big 3, right?
Yeah,
like Big D, ouch.
Yes, that definitely rounds it out.
The big 3.
Yeah, Grape's getting there too. Honestly, Grape is
really, there's definitely other names to talk about.
Shoutouts to Snake, I guess, for getting. So Grape got 4th at this tournament, and then
Snake is everywhere this weekend.
A pair of snakes in DreamHack,
top 3 of DreamHack as well, which is very crazy. 2 of the top 3 played Snake.
Yeah, and the Southeast is such a strong region as well. It was interesting because we didn't like. At least for America, we had 2 tournaments that featured the 2 strongest regions, but they weren't at each other's tournaments, if that makes sense. Because in my opinion, it's the Southeast and Tri-State. Those are the two strongest regions, especially if you clump like New England with Tri-State. If you go like Northeast and Southeast, essentially East Coast dominates this game. And we had one big tournament Southeast, one big tournament Northeast. So that was really cool to see. Obviously, if they're all at one tournament. And in terms of like what players went to, it really kind of it really depended if you needed Smash World Tour points or if you needed the Panda qualifier spot, right? So I know a lot of players, they kind of pick and choose their tournaments since there's two circuits going on kind of on that. But it was interesting because I think, I mean, if you guys want to start with DreamHack, I can go ahead and chop it up.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with DreamHack, I thought it was interesting because, I mean, me and EE, we just love Snake because we're old and we played Brawl. So we're like, yo, we looked at the bracket and we're like, yo, what if MVD and ApolloKage meet at winners finals? That'd be crazy, right? And then they do a Snake Ditto, and we finally find out who's the best Snake once and for all, right? Because right now, I think those two Snakes are the two best Snakes. Oh, God. Ooh.
Oh, did you catch that, by the way?
Yeah. That was impressive.
Damn. He called himself old, and then he's got the reflexes.
I'm telling you,
man in his prime.
All right.
Good save. Are you good, Chuck?
Yeah, I'm good.
How many Long Islands have you had?
No, not this early.
Just the regular 3 before the podcast.
That's what I'm recovering from. Too much Long Island's at DreamHack. All right.
We also had TK's tweet. We know.
Oh no, I can't hide it anymore. But yeah, I mean it's crazy because that ended up happening, right? So we had 2 Snakes in winners finals, and it's funny. So if you guys know who Scat is a Georgia player, and he plays a lot of Snake. So I saw Scat warming up ApolloKage, which was interesting. I was like, okay, cool. So I walk over to the screen, and I just see ApolloKage. I don't see 2 Snakes on the screen because I was like, oh, they're probably like warming up the Snake Ditto, right? I see Steve Snake, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? and ApolloKage was like, well, MVD hasn't really beaten any Steve, and if he smokes me in the Snake Ditto, like I'm probably gonna go Steve. And then MVD came over and he was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're going to do that. It was actually pretty fun. So winners finals starts, and it actually is a Snake Ditto. I agree with this for ApolloKage. I think in terms of,
it's a good plan so far. Yeah.
Right. I think for ApolloKage, the plan was I'm going to try the Snake Ditto out. And if it doesn't look too good, I'm going to curveball him with Steve. Yeah. Exactly that. MVD kind of smoked him in the Snake Ditto. Not too surprised because the Snake Ditto, I mean, like most Dittos are pretty weird and whack in a way. It usually comes down to just like very specific interactions. And if you win those very specific interactions, then you win the matchup. And on top of that, MVD just has way more experience, right? When it comes to, when I look at the 2 Snakes, ApolloKage is really creative, and that's his biggest strength. He gets really creative with his setups. Sometimes he'll just go for like what seems like random double jump aerials to like just like a meaty aerial up in the air. He gets very aggressive with stuff like that, and burning your double jump with Snake is very, very risky. So he'll mix in really risky options where MVD plays more safe. And yeah, I think MVD just won the Snake Ditto because of the experience for sure. And then ApolloKage brought out the Steve and just won 3 games straight. And then yeah, so I mean, I was kind of bummed in a sense where I wanted to see them do the Snake Ditto the entire way through, but I also respect ApolloKage just knowing what he had to do to get the W, and that if that means
you got curveballed too.
Yeah.
And ApolloKage, shout out to him for that, because it's not like he just picked up Steve and tried it that day. Like he lost his local, I think, last week going Steve. He got second, dropping a set with Steve, I'm pretty sure. But he's been working on the Steve for a while now, and I mean, what an incredible counter pick character, right? It just makes perfect sense. It's funny because everyone's just talking about how good and how incredible Steve is, but to actually go ahead and make him your secondary for a couple of matchups just to make it work out. I mean, it let him, not that he couldn't have won the tournament either way, but it 100%, being results oriented, he 100% won the tournament because of that Steve, or at least the Steve was an assisting factor to that. So shout out to AK, man. Like you said, Chuck, too, he's probably my favorite Snake to watch right now. I like watching Shogun a lot too, MVD, but ApolloKage, you could see he kind of has like this foresight where he's moving towards where the explosions are as they're about to go off, or he'll even juke you and not do it, right? But either way, he's always looking to combo off of the explosions when they happen, whether it's a low percent C4 or a grenade off stage. Like, he's just always in the right position for where he needs to be. Like, he's just incredible to watch, honestly.
That dude's a GOAT. Love watching
Yeah,
that. And he's been doing that for a while, like playing other characters. Because like I follow him on Twitter, so I see his tweets, and he's like, first of like 30 or whatever at the local went Snake and Mario, or like Snake and Joker, or like
yeah.
Steve more so recently, but like he's it's not like he just decided, like you said, oh, I'm just gonna pick up, like I'm just gonna play Steve because Steve is oh so broken and it's really easy to just pick him on the spot. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, it could be, but he's definitely put the work in at tournaments for this success. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah, that's interesting because as you were talking about like ApolloKage's usage of Steve specifically, I feel like I haven't seen that as much as just someone straight up maining Steve. Like, I feel like it actually makes sense though with the amount of time, like how the timeline is lined up. Like, Steve has been out long enough to now you don't have to be like a specialist to use him. Like now people are like specifically counterpicking with him or using him for specific reasons. It's like it just reminds me of like with Bayonetta.
There it is.
Like,
Whew, I was like, is he
like
gonna say it?
people or like because at first it was just Cloud as your like go-to secondary, and that made a lot of sense. We've had like bits and pieces of like similar things in Ultimate, right? Like Palutena or even still Cloud or like whatever it is, right?
Wolf, right?
Or
Yeah,
Wolf.
like
Palutena and Wolf are like some
Right.
big ones that it's like on paper this is what you pick up if you need some help with your main, and some people even just straight up did it. But I think there's been enough time to where like maybe other people could consider using Steve, and it doesn't have to be like a, you got a solo main Steve or something. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty interesting to
Yeah.
look at it like that. The main thing I wanted to. Oh, what's up?
I was gonna say it's interesting too because we've talked about how there's a lot of different ways to have success with Steve. You can do all the technical stuff, you can do all the crazy things with him, or you can be fundies. Like fundies are really, really, really strong with Steve. Like just his base game plan, if you have to obviously have some punishes ready to go, that's like his strongest thing. But still, you don't need all of that stuff to succeed, especially with a counter pick character. So it's cool to see.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to branch out into because we've been talking about a lot of Snake. That was like all over the handful of tournaments we had. A character I actually really wanted to talk about was Mega Man from DreamHack Atlanta and also Apex. Peabnut getting top 8 with Mega Man. Peabnut's like a big favorite of mine, also because Mega Man is one of my favorite characters in the game. And MPg getting top 3 with Mega Man as well. I think this character is fantastic from a tier list perspective, and I'm going to throw it out there. Y'all know I wanted to say this. I think Mega Man is one of the coolest characters in the game. Top 10 minimum, maybe even top 5 coolest characters in the game. Mega Man is really cool.
What do you mean by that though? Like just
wacky, like creative,
the way he plays and like the character himself, or
yeah,
just
a bit of everything. I think aesthetically his moveset is really cool. I think his character model looks great. I think like the stuff you can do with him in game, like competitively, he can be like very well rounded in some ways. I don't know. I think he's really good, and he's just cool. Like it's Mega Man, dude. He's cool.
Yeah. Well, you said
had
that
a dope trailer.
The trailer.
It was so good, man. It was the second one for Smash 4, right? Because Villager was first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good memory.
Thanks. I watched the trailers a lot, actually. We should do a trailer tier list, but we should definitely do a coolest character tier list as well. Oh yeah, he gets revived right here, dude. It's so sick. It's so good. He like I mean, people sleep. People always say it's like Sephiroth is number 1. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Mega Man's is up there.
Okay, whoa. Okay, Sephiroth is number 1. But but there are some other cool trailers. Yeah,
I think this is the same tier.
People might not always consider both games, so they might be thinking purely from Ultimate. So I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't get enough love, but I think in Mega Man 2 is just a character where his meta has just grown so much. And again, he's a character with a good base game plan, good mid-range, zoning. His back air is, I still think, one of the best in the game, straight up, like in terms of edge guarding, everything else. Down air on shield is ridiculous. Like he just has really, really good pressure. Like he's just a really strong character. All of his aerials are actually very godlike. So
Ward air is just like night and day between Smash 4 and Ultimate. It's crazy.
Oh, that move was so troll in Smash 4.
It didn't do anything.
It didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. You know what's crazy about MPG specifically? So he's in winner's quarters. Like I was talking to him Saturday going into Sunday, and he was like, "Yeah, I gotta play. I think he had to play Gact to qualify, in winners, right? Gacked, and then he played Syrup later.
He played Sir. Yeah, that's right.
Right. Okay. He's like, yeah, I got to play Gack to qualify. I'm pretty good against Ness. I think I'll be okay. And I was like, oh, I mean, sure. Like, we'll see. And then I think he lost game 1, and I was like, how good against Ness are you? And then I was like, oh, you're actually like crazy against Ness. I love that kid too, because you can tell he just loves the game and he loves Mega Man.
Absolutely,
He's just there to play and he's having a blast. Like he like puts a ton of effort in. It's so sick to see him have some success. So it was just cool that he was like, yeah, I'm pretty good against Mega Man. I mean against Ness, and then just cooked Ness. I was like, oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, 2 in a row. Gacked into Syrup, 2 victories. So
which DeBuzz also had to do, by the way, in losers, which is funny. Like just kind of back to back. Yeah, he's like a Mega Man main with like Sonic main energy. You know, he's got the hat.
True.
Like which people have said about me and Ken, so it's not a diss. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the energy. You know, it's good. There are advantages to really liking your main and really liking playing the game. Like it's a big thing, and you can see it in his play style. And dude, I was just looking at the bracket too. New Jersey took over in this top 8, big time, right? Syrup and winners over DeBuzz. How did that happen?
That stat was not
Syrup
is not close.
Is so very young, and this isn't even Syrup's first time just clocking in the top 8.
True.
Like,
yeah,
Syrup is starting to show up regularly in top 8. It's like, damn, with Ness too.
Oh,
like,
Ness.
Honestly, at this point, I think the Ness comment might not even be worth saying, because Ness is a character that regularly gets these placings. Actually, like Ness has a lot of really good players and a lot of really good statistical results, like in top 8s. Like Gacked has gotten like top 4 at majors before. Like Ness is just statistically like a character I don't want to say you should expect in top 8, but you should never be surprised.
Yeah.
And like there's 2 in this top 8. Like there's definitely a lot of character stories to talk about with these tournaments.
It's Ness has a lot of good matchups against the current meta relevant characters too. Like doesn't do that bad against Steve. Like I see a lot of success.
Yeah, I can see it being better than like 90% of the cast for sure.
I've seen like Kazuya is not the end of the world because he can't land because PK Thunder and like it actually does well against like Snake and stuff. We're seeing the rise of Snake. Like it does well against Fox,
Pikachu.
Pikachu. Like a lot of the characters that are pretty relevant. Like Ness has some decent matchups against. So it's cool to see that character succeeding that we thought was gonna fall off at some point. It's just not happening.
Too used to it, yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah, every game it happens. But I will say, even like about a year or 2 ago, I started. I mean, the biggest one is the directional air dodge, right? That's the main reason why we don't see this character falling off, because this character actually has recovery mix up. And then on top of that, the Ness players, this isn't just like a very low skill ceiling character anymore, right?
Yeah.
I feel like before Ness was like a very simplistic character, right? And Ness had a lower skill ceiling, which isn't like a bad thing, right? That's not a bad thing at all. But in this game, the character's punish game is actually insanely high, and to the point where you can do like literal infinites and corner carries and side switches into more corner carries, like which results in the infinite, yada yada yada. Like there's so much things you can do, and even if you're not doing an infinite, if you're hitting someone and doing 70 damage, well, that's a lot. And then if you hit someone at 90 and you just kill them off of it, well, that's really valuable, right? So definitely a character that I think will stick around in the meta for quite some time, and also has a very dedicated player base as well.
Yeah, Gavin said it, and you just said it too, Charles. And I think, and we said this very early on when we were making tier lists of characters, like last year or whatever. And I said that about Steve. Same thing with Ness. He always does, right? Like he always has that dedicated fan base, but they fall off because he's not that good. Or in Smash 4's case, like he was a little better, but then Cloud came out, right? And it's just he got absolutely destroyed by Cloud and Rosa, just DLC stuff, just absolutely obliterated. It's interesting because Ness. You know who else I put in this bracket of characters that always fall off and seems pretty good in the beginning is Yoshi.
Yoshi are like best friends.
They're like cousins or something. They got that double jump. It's like the same thing. And Yoshi, like Yoshidora, we gotta see it. Like it's gotta happen. Yoshi,
one of the most consistent players on the planet.
Unreal. Like I gotta see this happen. It's gotta happen. I don't know if Yoshidora's coming to any of the tournaments in
Smash World Tour final.
Really go to Smash World Tour?
Should be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting about all this talk with like Apex and all the tournaments is we haven't mentioned the victor of Apex in Miya's Game & Watch, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Miya, I think so.
Just Miya?
So I've seen, but if we're wrong, let us know in the comments.
If I'm wrong, I'm
We'll
sorry.
fix it.
It's like my first time saying that out loud. Just silently,
dude,
in Game & Watch fashion, you know what I mean? Like Game & Watch doesn't speak. Game & Watch is all about business, and like just 3-0, 3-0, 3-1, 3-0, like just GGs. It was a pleasure doing business with you.
Did Miya only drop one game?
You watch.
I was watching, and like their situational awareness for Game & Watch specifically, like it felt like they knew every matchup in the game. It was so strange. Like weird things will happen. I'm like, oh, they're not ready for. Okay, or like they would put someone in a checkmate situation that we didn't even know was a checkmate situation. They knew, but like we didn't. I had no idea. I was like, oh, it's checkmate. Like, oh, cool. Like that kid is fantastic. Speaking of, there were like only kids in top 8 for the most part, or like
I saw your tweet.
So I was sitting there and I was like, winner's side is Miya, Syrup, MPG, and Quandale. How old are these people? I'm shortening it. Quandale. Like,
D-Dog.
Anyway, I'm like, how old? So I go over to MPG. I'm like, bro, how old are you? He's like 18. And then he started going through everybody else. I'm like, MPG's the oldest.
It only gets younger, yeah.
Yeah, like young. Miya's young, which is crazy. There's another young Japanese player that just came through.
Doesn't know how to lose.
That's
their
Wi-Fi.
strength.
They both came from Wi-Fi.
Yep. They're definitely a duo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how it feels. Like
when we like started to get eyes on them. Mm-hmm. And you know what this transitions into?
What?
Shouts to the buzz. Old people.
True.
As always.
Old people. You know, it's always new faces, some crazy dominant characters, some really good new players. The buzz is there.
Hey, shout out to Leon and Gak. They're old and new.
And Jakal. Jakal's like in between, you know what I mean?
Jakal's
closer
young to me, man.
Yeah, it's just 20.
Like, yeah, closer to the new age in terms of how I view him. But shoutouts to people just clocking in for business, even though the new era is coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's rough, dude.
The more years go by, the more tournaments I go to, the crazier characters getting released. Like,
wow.
The more I appreciate the buzz.
True.
Old
I was
people,
gonna say, so Miya only dropped 2 games, all of Apex. One was to Jakal
in grand finals, yes,
and the other one, top 128, Armadillo.
Oh, true. I remember watching that set. I
didn't know Armadillo was at that event. Armadillo,
it was with Aegis,
really good,
right?
Lucario.
Didn't he take a game with Aegis? I'm pretty sure I recall him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I recall him taking game 2 with Aegis.
There you go.
And I was just sitting there like, I had this moment, and I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna admit it. I had this moment. I was like, maybe Miya's not that good.
Oh, dang.
Because like the expectation was, oh, Miya's coming, like freeing up everything in Japan, gonna come over and watch.
Right.
And he lost game 2 in like top 128, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be a hard tournament for Miya. I was wrong. I give it up. I was wrong.
Armadillo's just that good.
That was the one.
Armadillo's that good. Yeah.
Armadillo is very good.
Hey, I had it backward. My bad. Armadillo, I apologize. You're that good. One of the 2 games taken. Jeez.
Yeah.
For real.
And more like the main thing I wanted to talk about going into today in terms of like just what I kept up with, right? Because there's a lot of tournaments and I was playing Pokemon and stuff. Was I went back and watched a lot of Jakal's sets. And there's a lot of impressive stuff about this. You know, even outside of like Smash World Tour points and all that, like for me, it was more so about like just I'm from Jersey, so I know like some of these head-to-head things and stuff like that. Straight up 3-0ing Leon with their set count being like slightly in Leon's favor, like a handful of sets, is very impressive, especially because Jakal's like my main offline practice partner. and Wolf is one of my most played characters in Smash Ultimate, and Jakal hates Wolf versus Bowser. And I was always telling him, like, oh, it's fine, because I would play it out in my head and think of on-paper stuff, but I wasn't actually doing it, right? Because I could just go, like, any other character, and they'd do even better. PT, Wario, Diddy, they all destroy Bowser. So I never actually did it, but I always tell him, like, it's fine. Like I would just think, like, there's something he didn't know. But there was a session a while ago that I played with Leon, and I was actually playing Wolf. Like, one of the Smash World Tour regionals last year. And I wasn't winning games. I was not winning games. And I was just like, damn, I hate this. Like, there's a bunch of weird specifics. Like, you know how Bowser has that weird pushback thing where you can't, like, get inside of his shield to grab him?
Right.
Like, that happened a lot. And I'm just like, damn, it's really hard to open Bowser up. And you get upbeat if you press buttons. And so that, just all that, plus the head-to-head, right? And plus, like, how I've spoken to Jakal in the past. Just straight up 3-0ing, I was like, oh, maybe this is a good day, right? Like, this is a great start. Like, at first it looked like a bad roll, right? But I think at the pre-local, too, Jakal was playing pretty different. I think he got second there as well. Like, when he did play Wolf, it was looking really good. And then 3-1ing Syrup. Jakal usually beats Syrup, but has lost to Syrup at, like, Shine and stuff like that. So 2, like, really good ones in a row. And then beating DeBuzz in a nail-biter 3-2, that is never easy. DeBuzz is so good in those situations. And that's another one where Jakal has beaten DeBuzz a bunch, but it's just a hard player to beat, especially when at the bigger tournaments. It gets harder and harder from my experience. And then reverse 3-0ing MPg. Crazy Mega Man specialist, like, hitting you with a bunch of crazy stuff, and just, like, keeping it collected after playing all those crazy sets and winning 3-2. Like as a Wolf appreciator, Jakal fan, friend of Jakal's, like, incredible run, honestly. And even just taking a game, like, Wolf Game Watch, that matchup sucks too. But I'm sure, like, it's also just Miya was just on a roll, and I'm sure Jakal was super exhausted from all those sets. But, like, overall, like, if you play Wolf, watch these sets, please. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a great run. Sorry for rambling. Shoutouts to Jakal and shoutouts to Wolf.
Yeah, and I believe Jakal was securing a Smash World Tour spot as well.
Yeah,
right?
like,
With
just
that
a lot to
place.
talk about with that run. Yeah. Hey everyone, Mainstage is coming up. First weekend of December 2nd through 4th. Beyond the Summit is excited to announce that Mainstage is back for another year at the Ontario Convention Center in Southern California. Mainstage is a Smash major brought to you by the crew that runs Summit. For a full 3 days, attendees will compete to secure one of 12 Summit qualifier spots, 6 for Ultimate Summit 6 in March 2023, and 6 for Smash Summit 5 in June 2023. You can find more information for this event at bts.gg/mainstage. See you there. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that's super dope, insanely, and I think, to me, the coolest things about all the tournaments that happened this weekend, especially the ones involving circuits, being Apex and DreamHack. I mean, just a ton of great players just solidifying their spots, right? Jakal for Smash World Tour, and then even DreamHack, we had ApolloKage and Anathema securing spots for the Panda Cup finale.
Yeah.
So that's super sick. Anathema was just 0-deathing literally everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Rob will always show his face in top 8, you know what I mean? And Anathema is doing a good job of that. And Anathema, I think, has been really close with these circuits many times, right? And, like, finally getting that spot, because Anathema's there and clocking in and doing well. So securing the spot is probably really relieving.
Yeah, and even just some of the tactics I saw Anathema doing in so many situations were so creative with the gyro. Like, I mean, just kind of when someone's respawning, Anathema would grab the gyro, hover up in the top for a little bit, Z drop, come down with it, right? Like, if you have any kind of item and you Z drop it or throw it down, that's such a great way to make it way harder for your opponent to juggle you and stuff like
You have
that.
a
Like,
hitbox
just
while you're air dodging, or, like,
right, and then it's like,
stuff
oh,
like
there's a
that.
gyro and there's a nair. Like, can you parry both of them, right?
Yeah.
Or am I even gonna nair? There's so many simple things that Anathema did with his gameplay that it's just, like, felt so clean. And on top of that, Anathema can just kill you at 0. Like, Anathema did that so many times. I think I saw Anathema drop it once or twice. That's about it. And
That's
it was
in a tournament setting, like playing
insane.
against that is terrifying.
Yes, insane.
You're already dealing with like the raw bread and butter stuff. That's very solid character, and it's like from some of the stuff I saw, like a big story with Anathema's run is like, you're gonna have to work to get this stock off of me, and not only am I gonna take your stock, I'll 0 to death your next stock too. You know what I mean? It's like just like really making the most out of his stock at like 100+%, and it's like you got to work to take that stock, and he's gonna take your stock at 0 in the process. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, Rob just probably the most consistent force in the meta, and
throughout the years,
it's just so funny to me because if you took tournament results from from the whole lifespan of Ultimate, Rob has to be like on paper like a top 10 character, right? Maybe even higher.
Oh yeah,
100%.
But it's just so funny to me that people putting Rob as top 5 is a very hot take, right? But I don't know, man.
Is it?
Here's my thing with the 0 to deaths, because Anathema is, and this is what I'm a fan of. I am a huge fan of players that push the meta in a way that no other players that I've ever seen other players push it, which is why my 2 favorite players are Tweek and Void, because they push the meta in a way that I've never seen any other player on planet Earth push the meta. That's just like why I like, those are my favorite Smash.
What about Light?
Well, I like Light too. He plays my favorite character, but
he plays them differently too. Remember
he does.
He's Smash Stick Fox. You were like, this guy sucks. Like, remember that? We had that whole story before.
Right. But Light's probably my 3rd favorite player.
Yeah.
But in terms of like that, what my statement of like pushing the game in a way that no other players have pushed it, that is, in my heart, it's reserved for like Void and Tweek. Those are players that I've never seen players push like Smash games specifically in a way they've done it, which is like, and Anathema is giving me those vibes. Like ApolloKage gives me those vibes, right? There's other players that are doing that where I'm like, oh, like we're trying.
MPg too.
Yeah, MPg with like, with Mega Man, like these really high skill cap characters that it's like, oh, well, they're good, but like no one's ever going to actually do this shit, right? Now Anathema comes in and has a top in hand and is doing Z-drop Nair, and it's like, wow, I can die right here, right now, because this person gives a fuck and labs out their shit and does what they're supposed to do to push the game as far as possible. You know what I mean? So I think it's really sick to see players like Anathema succeed, and we're seeing Anathema's fundamentals catch up to their like combo game. Like everything's starting to even out, and you're seeing how dangerous of a player Anathema is, and it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, this reminds me of like, I don't want to go super deep into this because there's still a lot to statistically talk about, but Charles and I are just such like Smash nerds and Smash fans. So sometimes we'll just be like, we'll be talking about certain players or play styles, and we'll just be like it sounds silly because it's like a Nintendo fighting game, but like it just feels like some of these players have such an interesting view or play style, you just can't replicate it. Or you can't replicate like their thought processes and decision making, and it's just, and it's not like you need this for me to think you're the best of the best, but sometimes it's just like a reserved like special thing. I don't know if it's like a human thing that like I just am attracted to like a specific like play style or something like that, but like, some players you'll watch it and you'll just think like, I don't think I could replicate that. And that's just, whether that's a good, bad thing or anything like that. It's not even about being the best. It's just really cool and interesting. And like, you could talk about that for hours if you're deep enough into Smash, because there's no really words you can put behind that other than just like how interesting it is. And like, it's not objective at all. But like, when it comes to people's favorite players or characters or anything like that, like it gets weirdly ambiguous and beautiful. It's really cool.
I think that's the coolest part about Smash, is that you can play it in so many different ways and find success. Like,
yeah,
if someone rolls up to you and you're at 0 and they hit you with a forward smash and you're just like, dude, that's so bad. But like at the end of the day, you got hit by it, right? Like there is so many
like there's so many
ways.
questions
Right,
just from that sentence alone. Like what just happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like and then there's the in-game part of it, and then there's the mental aspect of it too, right? Like if some player knows that you getting hit by a certain thing tilts you, yada yada yada. Like I think that's the coolest part about Smash is just the versatility it has. And I like when you watch someone be creative with a character, that's the most fun I have watching any Smash match. If the players are being creative with like any part of their play, their mix-ups, their recoveries, their neutral, like any form of creative play is what gets me excited and gets me like hype to watch a match or commentate a match. Like it's so sick.
It's I've played a lot of traditional fighting games too, like 2D fighters or whatever, 3D models on a 2D plane. And I think that's like the one thing I really love about Smash. I mean, I love them both obviously so much, but Smash always just, you could do whatever you want in Smash. You want to double jump off the stage for no reason, you could do that. Whereas games, like more traditional fighting games, I always kind of felt like I was locked into a grid, right? Like I could jump, but it would only go these directions, and like that's kind of it. Or I could hit these buttons, and that's kind of it. But with Smash, it felt so free flow always. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like it felt more like a sandbox. Like I could kind of do anything and go wherever I want to go, and it always felt more expressive in that way. Like obviously combo routes in like Marvel or in Street Fighter or whatever, you can get creative but for the most part, you kind of, just stick to the traditional, like the perfect, like this is the right combo to do or whatever.
I do this B&B at this, against
which
this weight.
You could say for Smash too, but that's where, especially in both of them, that's where you see kind of the special element to it. Like when someone has a really good eye and knowledge of the game and can kind of apply that in interesting ways to get the W. Like that's what's so cool about it. And I always thought Smash was, well, especially a game like Melee where the engine just rewards such hard work and like movement. And Ultimate's getting there too. Like Ultimate is getting so buttoned up in terms of punish game and movement and all this stuff. It's looking nicer and nicer, honestly, every week. So it's insane.
Bro, shout outs to it's my hey. So I was at Apex, right?
Okay, you're at Apex.
Okay.
And it was tough. I mean, y'all were there at 4 or 5 in the morning. What time did y'all go to sleep? It was like 7 a.m.
Huh?
Oh,
on Friday when I was driving up.
You're calling me out.
Oh yeah, we absolutely have to call everyone out. I am tight that I didn't get to play as much Pokemon as you guys this weekend.
Marcus hopped in the Discord at like 6 in the morning. He's like, "Oh, did you guys go to bed?" We were like, "Nope." Been on the grind, man. What are you gonna do?
Don't like that question.
Yeah. And I was just like really, really tired, and I didn't go to sleep. And I go to play at Apex, and I was just playing like, obviously I didn't sleep, right? So it's not playing well. And I like got sent to losers, winners round 1. Shout outs to Hayes, like pretty solid ditty. They're from your region?
Yeah.
Gavin? Yeah. So I got smoked, and I was like, bro, it's time to go back to the room and play Pokemon. I'm over it. So I actually didn't do that. I like went to sleep for like 3 hours, and then I just got back up. I was like, okay, I guess I'm only sleeping for 3 hours. And I go back to the venue. I like play for a little bit, and I play Mr. E, and he smokes me, and I'm like, bro, I'm getting washed this tournament. Like it's over. Like whatever. Like, and I woke up the next day, and I was in top 128 losers, and I had to play someone named Insect, and I lost game 1 after they SD'd, and I was up 3 stocks to 1. I was like, I give up. This tournament isn't for me. Like, this sucks. I can't win. I can't win after I got sleep. I can't win when my opponent doesn't want to win. Like, I can't win. And then I like had this moment where I was like, why am I here? Like, mind y'all, I'm older, right? I'm 30. Like, not like I obviously has and
my goodness, you're old.
Yeah. We're for a competitor, like I'm pretty up there, and I was just like, dude, why am I like I could be anywhere else? I could be at home, I could be with my wife, I could be, but I'm here, and like I kind of needed to get it together. So like I won the next game, and then real big shout outs to Insect for talking to me. They were just like, yeah, like, I used to talk to someone from MDVA and like blah, blah, blah. And like, I don't know, just talking to him like really reminded me like why I was there, and playing them reminded me why I was there, and it was just a really enjoyable set, and they were enjoyable to be around. And I like make this weird run, and I'm in top 24 losers, and I'm like, bro, I lost in winners round 1 pools. Like, what is going on? And while I was playing every set, I would just sit down. I was like, mind you, I'm not this good, but I was like, Gavin did it, I can do it. So I just kept, Kameme did it, Kameme did it, I
love
do it.
that.
Like,
I love that.
Yeah, Kameme did it, I can do it. Every time I sat down, I was like, I don't need to give up. Like, I can keep winning. And I beat Bonk 3-0. Like, even when I like almost got 3 stock because he 0 to death me twice as soon as the game started, because that's been the meta night. And I still won that game. Like,
he'll do that to you.
Yeah, I just like kept, like, I stayed focused, and I was like, huh. And then to qualify for losers top 24, I had to play Peanut, and I was like, oh.
Don't let it
now
be
y'all
you.
probably
don't. It
okay, so the history between me and Peanut is he's never beaten my Min. I think he's like 0-10 against me. The matchup's impossible.
Yeah,
like it's just really bad.
Definitely impossible.
And I'm on, like, again, I'm older, so like Peanut's the newer generation, right? And like I want to see the newer generation succeed. Like a lot of time that I'm at events,
you didn't go Min.
Even I went Min.
Oh, okay. No, I was like, what do you fuck? I was like, no mercy. What are you talking about?
No. So I have dilemmas like
that. Chuck.
And I was talking to some of the newer players, and they're like, you got to bring out the best in them. Like you can't like just
free.
Yeah. So
but
I wanted to
like that when you were on the come up. Didn't you have someone like that? That like gatekeeper older guy that was.
Chu used to smoke me all the time.
Exactly.
And I used to get tight. I was like, I cannot beat this man. But when I finally beat him, that's when I started performing better. But I really didn't want to play Peanut because I was like, I think his run can go a little further. I don't want to be the guy that like ends his run essentially. Like, but I played him. I 3-0'd him. I was like, oh, I feel bad. And next to me, SquidPlumber was playing. My goat Squid.
My God.
The Belmont player, right?
The Belmont player. Yep. Playing Icy Mist, and Squid was getting smoked. I was like, oh man, like this is not good. But clutched up, made it to the next day, and I was telling him, I was like, I'm on the way out. Like, I'm older, like I'm married, I have a kid. Like this can't be like me. I can't be competing forever, right? I'm on the way out. But what's pushing me to perform currently is you guys. Like, I need to be able to coach you all, and like I talk to them on Twitter all the time, and like in Discord, and like really push you all, because outside of like me, ZD, Dexter, Seagull, like there's not really anyone left in MD, and like we really need to be the people that like keep them going. So it was just cool to see Squid perform. Got 13th. After just getting, what was it, top 8 at
one of the glitches,
at the last glitch. Yeah, got top 8 at the last glitch, got 13th here. Good to see. Apparently you're ducking him, Tweek, because you keep DQing events that he goes to. But
saw that tweet.
I know it's a joke. Yo, true. You would have had to play Belmont. Oh, no, you're chilling. You play Haz all the time.
Yeah, no, Belmont. It could be way worse than Belmont. But
yeah. But I don't know. It was a cool weekend, and it was good to see. It's always good to see like the youngins perform, especially from my region. So, shout outs to Peanut and Squid for having a good tournament and really like pushing yourselves with some awful characters.
Beat Suarez, by the way.
Did beat Suarez.
That ending was insane.
Yeah, the axe to take out the armor.
I was watching that and I was like, oh, this is game 5 last stock. Oh my god.
I think Dom has Yoshi in the tier where you pick a different character. Like you don't play Belmont. Like it's dude, it is really
it didn't look good, but somehow like
those characters, like, even if it's a really bad matchup, you can like cheese people pretty easily with them. Like it just happens sometimes. Like and Squid's that good too. Squid's gotten a lot better. Like it's been really nice as a Belmont, fan of Belmont and the player himself. Like he's gotten so much better too. Like his gradual improvement has been very, very nice to watch. Like he's a grinder, man. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, whenever I think of Belmont matchups, and I know Tweek kind of thinks the same thing. If a character can avoid a ledge trap, like Yoshi can recover high so easily, right? Like double jump, up B, like
talked about this recently
yeah,
specifically.
never have to go to ledge. If you never have to go to ledge, that's how Belmonts win. You don't go to ledge,
it's
then
a pretty big win condition.
It's very big.
Yeah. And Yoshi's projectiles are good too. Like, and his advantage state is so good against. Like, it just sucks, man. And and Nair is so good for edge guarding. Like, it's just tough. It's a bit
of everything that you wouldn't.
It's really impressive. Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody wants to deal with the Belmonts, to be fair. So it's all good. It all evens out somewhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy too. I'm looking at the bracket to even get into top 8 for DreamHack Atlanta. It's crazy. Like Esam didn't make top 8.
Nope.
Didi didn't make top 8. It was
insane.
just so crazy. Fatality barely made top 8. Sean, I thought Sean was getting into top 8, and like again, shout outs to Peabnut having to deal with all of these rushdown matchups. My goodness.
Oh, question: did Fatality actually play like pretty much all Kazuya except against Anathema? Because I saw a graphic that just had Kazuya versus like everyone.
But I know he's been working on attention.
He's been talking a lot.
The Anathema set was Falcon for sure.
Yeah. But I think it was like the Panda graphic, it was like all Kazuya. I was like, oh, is it like that? Like we're not even, it's not Falcon with a Kazuya secondary, it's Kazuya with a Falcon secondary.
I mean, all I gotta say is I definitely saw Jazo switch over to Kazuya against what was it? It was against Goblin. Yep. And then Goblin counterpicked with Ike and won with Ike. But
that was a good set.
That was a very, very good set.
I'm a big fan of both those players, so
yeah, Jazo did an incredible job as well. Just a lot of Atlanta just showing up here for DreamHack.
Jazo's in that category too of just grinders who have gotten so much better like since I started watching him more. And I've started playing a lot more again recently. And whenever I have a question or I'm getting pissed off a matchup, I just DM Jazo. I'm like, Jazo, what the hell do I do here? Like I need some Ken advice. Like, what do I do? I'm so mad. How do I hit Banjo? And he'll be like, oh, you try to whip punish these moves, and gives me a list of like 8 moves. I'm like, all right, Jazo, all right. And then I did it. Nice. It was working. I was like, this is so sick.
Yeah.
But he's always obviously, I mean, you guys saw him at Summit. Like he clearly just grinds so much and plays so much. So shout outs to Jazo and Goblin. That was a really good set.
Bro, I forgot about this. Tech Republic happened. And I didn't even really watch it. I was just scrolling. Like there was like
oh my god, Lukey
won.
Lukey.
Oh wait, didn't Ramen actually?
Ramen got second.
Ramen
with Sheik.
Bro, I only said 3 tournaments at the beginning of this. We had 4. It's
not our fault. It's Pokemon.
True.
Pokemon brain rot. True. I mean, we chose to do that. It was my wife's birthday. That's my.
No, it's still Pokemon's fault.
I feel a little bad because I definitely call Siski like EU to Buzz, and he got 4th as well. Like it's just they're this. I don't.
It's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
It's not a bad thing, but it's just like, bro, where's the win? Like
he'll get there. We know it. He'll get there someday. Lukey's day though, and
good job, Ramen.
Let's go, Ramen. Finally,
bro was playing Crom. Bro was playing Crom.
Wait, he played Crom?
No, he didn't. Why do you think he got second?
I take everything back, regardless of the second place.
He would have won if he didn't go Crom. No, but he didn't go Crom. So
he went Sheik. It's the only way he's going to place that high. Come on, man. He's going to place that high with Crom.
Sheik is broken.
Sheik is definitely broken. I'm very happy. Very happy that my friends are playing good characters. I hate when my friends play
and
bad
Luigi
characters.
Big tournament is crazy too.
For sure, yeah. And
I mean, Gaga went off at Apex. Luigi's still there.
Yeah, Luigi is still scary as always.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's always. Was it B who said this? Because there's so many characters that are like, when someone actually plays them well, they're like the scariest character on the planet. But most people who play them, might be missing a piece or two in their gameplay. And Luigi,
or like not category. 0 to deathing you ever. It's like what we talked about with Anathema, right?
Yep.
Right.
If you're getting 0 to death every time and you have to be afraid of that all the time,
yep,
it is a different universe.
You're playing a whole different matchup. Like if you're playing up against Anathema and you're playing up against Zomba, you don't have to worry about that from Zomba. So you can focus on other things.
You do.
Zomba's not.
With Anathema, it's like there's no like doubt in your mind. You know what I mean? Like it's different.
Zomba be punishing you guys crazy.
Well, no, Zomba has good punishes, but Zomba to me is like punish and then get the read after and take your stock. It's not like double Z catch, gyro toss.
Yeah.
I see.
Like literally, like I corner carried you, and no matter your SDI, you're dead, and I don't have to read you. Zamba usually like does a impressive string into an impressive read. Anathema just kills you. Like,
I think that about wraps it up though for this one. We didn't talk about the Canada one as much. I didn't personally watch it.
Riddles won. Ouch got second. Grape got fourth. Silver got third. Actually,
Bro, that pit was a move. I only saw Silver versus Ouch. That pit was moving.
It's Silver's Wii Fit main, right?
Pit is kind of crazy sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I think Pit's underrated, honestly. Not by not like a lot. Like Pit's
nothing substantial for like a tier list.
Yeah.
It's like Banjo. It's like I call Banjo underrated, but then at the same time I say
he's definitely underrated.
But then I also say like, who cares? Like,
yeah, he's kind of trash, but it's all
shout out to Kels. Kels also got top 8 of the tournament, which rules.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
Shouts to Moxie for getting 9th with Wolf at DreamHack Atlanta as well. More Wolf results. Lots of like character specific like players like doing well. We saw a bunch of Snake, Mega Man, Wolf.
Wolf fan.
Yo, Teaser kind of went in. DreamHack Atlanta.
Yeah, Samus getting top 8 at DreamHack Atlanta and Tech Republic. Lots of interesting stuff. And if you're a Smash Ultimate player, there are so many tournaments that there's probably something cool and interesting to learn from with at least one of these brackets, if not more. Like if you play like one of these characters or like something like that. Like there's just so much. Like for me, I was talking about like Jakal and Moxie, like a bunch of Wolf stuff, like talking about how cool Mega Man is, like with Peabnut and MPg. Like I don't know, it's pretty sick. If you play Snake, you're definitely eating good too.
True.
Oh yeah.
A lot of good VODs.
Or Game & Watch. Like Game & Watch just straight up like just like cleaning up an entire bracket is crazy. So but yeah, any final last like around the horn before we stop?
Yeah, I'll jump in. Shout out to Axiom XL for winning Squad Strike at Apex. All right. Shout out to XL. Because I know he's got mad characters, and I know most people only know him as a Kazuya. But he has a ton of really good characters, especially his Wario. So shout out to XL for winning.
His Wario's really, really good.
Yep.
Okay, true.
Well,
I met some cool people at Apex that walked up to me and was like, bro, you know, like you on Tweek Talk. Shout outs to y'all. It was sick talking to you. Shout outs to MD. Y'all are goats. Youngins. It's lit. See you.
Shout outs to all the Tweek Talks fans that I talked to at DreamHack Atlanta. That was really cool. I also did like some content pieces with Panda, which was also really cool. And shout outs to Ramses, who was coaching Ramen before the tournament. So in my opinion, Ramses and Tony from Florida are in my opinion the two coaches that really deserve a tier 1 like sponsor. In my opinion, I think they're so good at what they do. And I know I haven't coached top level Smash in a while. Like I'm retired from that for like 2 years or whatnot, but I like the biggest vouches to those two coaches. They're absolutely insane.
Definitely. I've talked to both of them individually, and it's a great experience. Every time they say some shit, and I'm like, wow, I never thought of it that way. Like they're awesome.
True.
All right,
Pokemon. See you.
Yeah, back to Pokemon. Thanks so much
Tweek's
for
got
watching.
A shout out.
Sorry to take up your time, Gavin.
It's okay. I'll forgive you.
You already got the shiny charm of your gym.
Thank you for watching and listening.
He's so embarrassed.
I know he didn't know what to do there.
What do I say?
See you.
Keep it moving, Jim.
I'm not even sleeping. Help.
It's bad.
But also, big thank you for the support on the Patreon. We actually got a big influx of patrons. So we did recently do a November episode as well. So
that was a good episode.
Thank you for all the support on that. And yeah, other than that, I think we're good. Have a good one, y'all.